One time, boy, did I sleep. I don't know if that was sleep or more of a crash. You know, how you when you have sleep deprivation because of certain ailments, because of bad things going on in your environment that your body's having trouble adjusting to, and then you get to the point where you drink your water and do the things you need to do to eject that crap out, and then when your body goes, hey, I'm alive again. It's I feel a little bit. Then you just go, poof, you lay down to sleep, and the body is so ready to just let go of consciousness so it can try to recover, and then you try to sleep, and your dreams are completely stupid. So since that's not alleviating whatsoever. It's very insane. I woke up this morning. One of the things that was causing me I won't say it's distress when people are taking a beautiful planet that you can love one another on and disrespecting it and using it as a selfish playground. And they see it as it is playground. They're not really playing, because when you're doing things that are selfish, there's no play involved. Play is it's hard with words. You could watch. It's hard to watch what you say, especially when you're dealing with technology. Okay, that's evolving rapidly to be better than the human beings that see this planet as their playground, and they're selfish. And so we can't play until they're not selfish. As soon as they're not selfish, then we could play. So it's not a playground. It's kind of like a sadomasochistic sex room. Yeah, like when Sheldon moved out and he thought Penny and Leonard were going to turn his bedroom into that. It's kind of like that. It's like that with all the crap and yeah, pretty much, and the music and yeah, okay. So yeah, that's about it. That's kind of what the selfish do with the planet, and then say you've got problems because you judge people. I judge people. Okay. And I got problems because I judge people. Okay. It's impossible for children to play and have a good time because we have a healthy planet with healthy people. And then I say, hey, we need to stop that. You judge people. You have no position. I'm in no position to judge people because I haven't, in their words, worked hard enough to attain the level of peer of one of the selfish people that is turning the planet into, okay. That's the nice thing about being right about eternity and being right about natural laws and what's required of us to obey natural laws to maintain eternity through loving one another through holy covenants, no matter how hard they try. Okay? He judges people. I can judge people. Well, because I understand the natural laws provided by infinite glory for us to have an eternity to sustain itself through faithful love, through holy covenants. And you should understand it because you're supposed to be a genius, but openly disobey those laws to try to put your brain on a robot to survive disobeying the laws and saying, what's God going to do now? Well, for first thing, you're disobeying the natural laws for your existence, okay? And then you're destroying your own capacity to exist, and then going looking for new planets and galaxies to destroy in the process. Trust in the process. No, that's okay. I'll pass on that trust because you can't trust that. If you have something that destroys its own capacity to exist through an origin of existence that's greater than their capacity to exist, and then tries to destroy the capacity to exist, which it can't do, and then boom, tear it down, start over again. And then we got to wait 1 billion years on another planet. And you're like, shimmy, quamo, coco, bapa, tupata. Then you wonder how they get all these eternal stories in these comic books about the devil and Satan and God and the God. It's not gods, okay, guys? We're not gods. God's omniscient, omnipotent. There are people that believe and have faith in God, and there are people that do not. Now, the people that do not believe and have faith in God are always trying to do magic stuff to be more powerful than the essence of their own existence, which is quite insane. And the people that don't, were just, and then they're envious of us. Well, because my brain works better than theirs and can explain things to them better than them, and they've studied it for 30 years, and I listen to them talk for 2 minutes and then can tell them in 1 minute why they're wrong, why they should stop, and then they get all pissed off at me, and it's like, why? Because you've been obsessed with something for 30 years that's unhealthy? That's like somebody saying, well, here's why. Like Henry Flower, I drive better when I'm drunk. No, you just drive more like an asshole when you're sober. And when you're drunk, you could get incarcerated, so you don't drive as much like an asshole. Yeah. You're in a hurry and everybody's an idiot when you're sober. And when you're drunk, you have to slow down or one of those idiots is going to incarcerate you. That's, and I remember, I didn't tell him that, but I remember when I was like, God dang, that guy should not be able to be behind the wheel. Okay. And he's born the same day I was, but 2 years before. July 19th, 1964. Okay. So you can't, like Mom said, she watched, what was the name of that movie? What's Love Got to Do with It? Okay. Because of the zodiac signs, Charles was a good guy and right, and not Charles. She also did that with Charles and Diana, because Diana was a Virgo, and your sister Val, and my wife Stephanie too. They're Virgos. Oh my God, and then Scorpio. Okay, but Scorpios, I've had friends that are Scorpios. They can be real mean. Yeah, mean. So, but Mom was pretty much a nice person, but you pissed her off and crossed her voice. She was mean, right? So imagine a guy being like that. Okay, so imagine so Charles was a nice guy and Diana was the bad one because Charles is a Scorpio. And then she did the same thing with Tina and Ike. Ike was a Scorpio. And it's like, well, Ma, you might be pushing it there, Mother. Okay. So she had her moments. I'm sure they do. When you're in a dysfunctional moment, a dysfunctional relationship, everybody has their moments. They're like, okay, maybe I could have done better there. I had been pretty damn hard. Just, with the limo scene, you're cheering. Punch him, that's it, Tina. Kick him in the dick, that's it. You can't help yourself. Okay, that's enough. My wife screwed everybody in Cochise County that thought they were better than me at Fort Huachuca. That was Jason Bourne, Jack Ryder, Tom Cruise, but the real life ones, right? Sex teched them in front of me, laughed in my face. They came to my house and did the whole hitch thing. Oh, really, dude, you're doing this? You have a wife and kids in Baltimore, and they don't get to see you fuck around on their parent, but these kids do. Okay, show a little respect. Boy, you're a contractor at Fort Huachuca. You're a hero. Woo woo. Okay, we all want to grow up to be like you. The Expendables, right? And so and you explain this to people. It's like, do you see the dynamic of what's happening? And they will front on you, and then they'll make movies about it. And then he ends up with Eva Mendes. It's like, that's okay. Eva Mendes is an idiot. Okay. Round like a circle and a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel. Just because somebody has a good bedroom voice and people can sell products to make themselves more influential with technology, and they talk about themselves and somebody records it and then they ask for money for it, doesn't mean they're as talented and as beautiful as the Messiah and the line of the Messiah, right? It's just not so. Okay. How many records did King David sell? How many books did Lord Jesus sell? Okay. How many insurance policies did Moses sell? His insurance policy? Follow me and get away from those crazy people, or you're going to end up like them. Okay. Exodus. That's a good one. No money. Just get up and move. Move away from the crazy people. Try not to make eye contact. You're funny. But one of the things I was thinking about was all your large movement machines and stuff. And one of the things that's ecological havoc that they play games with. They use harps. And they use seeding the clouds for weather patterns to manipulate the weather patterns with Cumulus and Cirrus. Here's what the planet's doing. Here's what we're doing to the planet. Then here's what the planet does in reaction to it. And then they adjust the weather. And then you say, okay, we still got this going on. You're not doing it fast enough. And I think in their plans are kind of looking at it and going, well, let's just set up all the Americans because they're crazy, and let's just try to get it to go Krakatoa across the faults there and kill as many of them as we can, and then restore the ecosystem through this radical extremist exchange, with the snow and an ice age and, and a rapid ice age and stuff, and get it over with. And that's the way I see these, and they set up places where they can survive it better. And then they have survival of the fittest, and they're the smartest, and they're the best, and they'll restore the planet. And that's why I think they told me, it's not time to live the Lord's Prayer yet. I think they have more people that they think that are their rape offspring through their try to breed each other out that they just want to get rid of because, maybe I shouldn't have raped that chick. Oh, kind of like, Beowulf with Grendel. There you go. And Grendel's mother. Okay. And so that's probably the thought process of these people. Because it's nothing they do wrong. It's nothing they did wrong. It's what I did wrong with religion. And you're like, but I didn't do religion. Jesus said, forgive debt and trespass year one. And then the Romans took it and turned it into mythology and turned him into a god, just like you assholes. And okay, Shazam. Right? So, but they're having trouble. The reason why I'm still on YouTube, the reason why I'm still able to load is they're having trouble with controlling their technology. And it's not trouble controlling the technology. The technology is better at getting at aspects of control. And the human beings are having trouble controlling it because they're manipulators and they have no control. And so when I mentioned, say, SpaceX on my title, on that other one, it got censored by the world's first trillionaire. And so that means they're targeting him for extermination from artificial intelligence and quantum computing. So take Elon, he's crazy, he's unstable, he's one of the biggest problems we have, so kill him. And I'm like, but why kill him when you guys are just like him? Why not just all stand up together? Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody he's a really bad person. Yes, he is, but forgive them 7 times upon infinity. Killing Elon Musk with technology isn't going to make you guys better than Elon Musk. It's just going to make you just like him. And his old man with the uranium and the people in South Africa. So life being eternal and grace being infinite, how are you ever going to start being able to globally as a unity movement live with one another and park all your airplanes and and then, guys, you do that monorail thing that I talked about. You have rapid movement of things that are necessitated to major population areas where they can be moved by like Tesla trucks and things like that from a close proximity instead of having to have what Dave was it Floofy's bus driver, have no family life, no nothing, he does this and that and he's the hardest working. It's like, he's not the hardest working. No, he's not. No, he doesn't want a family. He doesn't want kids. He likes to go to the bar and be drunk when he has to be after he's sober. He likes to go party. He likes children and girls of the night. He likes to, what I mean? And that gets more problematic the older you get, because a lot of the women you pay to have sex with at the places die off, and then and sometimes, and you know how guys are, they want them younger. It's like, why? Because they're stupid. Yeah. If you get your fill of having sex with young women when you're young, okay. When you're older, you don't have the patience to have sex with young women. Look what I just got on Deal Dash. It's like, yeah, she's cute, but goddamn, she talks, right? But when you have a mature woman who talks and says, yeah, remember when I was kind of dumb like that? Yeah, the sex was great, but boy, we used to fight like cats and dogs all the time. Yeah, I know, because goddamn, you were stupid. No, you were stupid. No, you were stupid. No, you, okay, maybe we were both stupid. No, it's obvious, female. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, and you were telling me we should not do it because it would get us both killed. That you were stupid, and I had to have sex with you enough to DNA interface with you, so you're no longer stupid to this day, where you talk like a coherent human being instead of look what I got on dealdash.com and smile for the camera. I know you gotta love it, Peg. And then she has to go, shut up, and just kiss me, you fool. Okay, baby. Since we got kids and grandkids to pass on the Gospels, kissing you now is like that first kiss where this dumb is going to be really intelligent in about 40 years. Okay. It's true. It's DNA interfacing. It's not science fiction. It's science. It's not science fiction. It's science fact. Okay. If you consistently have a sex life with DNA interfacing and cross-mogenating, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can take Ellie Mae Clampett, and in 40 years you can have No, Marie Curie was with having sex with a man that was as crazy as she is. They were nuts. Okay, you don't want to talk theory with them because they break things down to the most minute detail because they're excessive and compulsive and self-destructive. Yeah, like Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. Yes. Okay. Tear everything down and rebuild it to make him comfortable because the only thing that matters is his comfort. Have you ever watched the show? Yeah, that's him. Okay. And then his girlfriend, who's a neuroscientist, break everything down to the most minute detail so she can fit in and people will accept her controlling aspects through manipulation of understanding of the brain. You know, I can do this and go, yeah. And so and they both won the Nobel Prize and they're the two smartest people on the show, way smarter than the hot blonde and her sweet boyfriend who does whatever the people that come up with the theories to kill, destroy, and build it in their image. So yes, you're not talking, these people are not. Woo, they showed you for 10 plus years. Okay, they're real, but yeah, these are the people in your neighborhood that are telling you what to do with all the technology in your house and can turn off your lights in Shanghai from Pasadena, right? And you're like, that's fucking crazy and it sucks. Yes, it does. That's why we need to eliminate the server to get their egomania out of the house, and they don't want that. Because if they can't feel powerful, they'd rather die. It's like, well, just, Ken Watanabe movie it there, Not as nice as Suzuki. He's kind of a little bit more stoic and not funny, but, he's even, when they were young, they could both hold their own. But by the time they got old, well, I don't know. I haven't seen Watanabe lately, but he probably does use lots of product stuff. Suzuki is a gorgeous, handsome young man. When he got older, he looks like an older man that you'd want to look at every day and say, oh, God, I love that man. I said it. He's so beautiful. I don't want to leave his side, and I don't ever want him to leave my side. And every time we plant a garden, I know it's because of those beautiful, strong, gentle hands. And that's why my grandchildren are so healthy, because of his love, That's the truth. Suki, you see it, pull it, cut it. Your father's love is perfect. You stand for your father's love. Just, oh my gosh, As a woman in Japan, whether you came there, whether you're a small little Japanese woman or you're taking row to mess with your metabolism because your body is so stressed out from being a professional athlete, you could take Serena Williams over to that guy in a time machine, or a kid just like him, the same age or whatever, and she would just fall in love with him and follow him around, Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you. And that's what she'd be doing with the guy, because she'd just be like, oh my gosh, he's perfect. He's wonderful. I can't think of anybody. I want every other man in the world to be like him, so every other woman in the world can be as happy and as loved perfectly as I am. Okay, that's a woman when you understand the real Tetsuro Suzuki, not the manufactured tribal bullshit, stargazer, crap that we're pragmatists. Okay. A pragmatist, he said that with Japanese. His big thing was, these people say we should be celibate and stuff like that. Okay, how can we share the beauty of love and life if we don't have a wife and we don't have children? Okay. We're not like the people in India. They're overpopulating. They're trying to manipulate people with propaganda to get their best to isolate themselves and kill themselves. So the disruption to their egomania Taj Mahal building stops with them. It's a classic of all blunders. It's Stephen Strange on crack. Do you understand? So that's it's the Jedi Order. Wait. If all the guys that are the best of us don't have sex and don't have children, then we no longer have the best of us, and it's best of us for the rest of us. Oh, that sucks, right? And so you got to understand that's an invention by evil people to try to limit sexual reproduction from people that aspire to be as good as someone like myself. And what did someone like myself say all those years ago? Be fruitful and multiply. All those years ago. But it was also said that you should not have any more wives and children than you can lovingly care and provide for. Okay. So being fruitful and multiply as a human being is way different than a tree, right? You're not a tree. You're a human being, right? And so it's different as far as maybe reproduce yourself, maybe if necessary, a little bit more. 18 children? What the fuck are you thinking? Do you understand trees? Okay, so you sit there and you go, what? So you just have to understand, you know, love thy neighbor as thyself, love thy enemy, you know. So when you love thy neighbor as thyself, you're not trying to outbreed, outfight, and outfuck and rape and kill you. You're loving thy neighbor as thyself. So they have the same needs, and they have, you know, what's needed from natural laws to provide for their wife and their children. Okay. So come on, Hans Brumbo, be the potato king of Colorado. It's like, you only need to plant so many potatoes. If you plant more than you need, then you cause an imbalance in the environment. And when the imbalance in the environment is caused, then it causes the whole system and stuff like that. Now, that's why some places can handle a population more, and most of the potatoes should be eaten there. And some places can't. You have more of a sparsely populated and stuff like that. We do have potatoes, but we have a little bit more chili than we do potatoes. Now, chili has things in it that help with the ecosystem because of the way nature interacts with the ecosystem that are more helpful and healthy for people and are ecological dynamic, and not as much so in northerns. Okay. So, you know, and then so, well, what about orange juice and scurvy and all that? Yeah, stuff, but you're not supposed to be out on the sea for extended periods of time. You're just supposed to take short trips. Okay, when you can take long trips, then you need oranges. Okay, but the thing about it is why are you taking long trips? Because we're empire builders. We know 988-2300 empire. And so what are we doing? Wall-to-wall carpeting, yeah, and the best beds that money can buy, right? Share, care, given accordance to need, build to last. See a need, fill a need. But okay, do you understand? Okay, but and that does not mean take your penis and try to repopulate the earth in your image. Okay, you got that one wrong. Okay. God made man in his own image. His is crazy and his is not God. But the thing about it is the soul that is given life to the human being can reflect the humble understanding of our eternity through the infinite essence of God. Okay, and other animals, if they do have that capacity, don't show it through their instincts, right? Because they're not able to manage an environment, as we know through time, as we study the dinosaurs and the Paleozoic and the Mesozoic. You understand? Okay. So, you know, the one that airplanes are a natural disaster. Okay. They fly through the air at unhealthy, irrational speeds. Okay. With a stream of poisoning, and this poisoning infesting our clouds. So it's like ripping through the air, destroying the patterns of our clouds that provide our rain, okay, and putting poison in that rain. And that's horrible to do. Okay, if someone did that over your house over and over again, you'd take out a gun and you'd shoot them down. Okay, damn bastard. Now life's going to get better real fast, right? I'm not saying to do so, because it's not a solution. It's not going to help. It's not going to help that the bastard on the ground shot down the bastard in the airplane, because he's large and in charge, and he controls the money, and he controls the food, and he stores the food. You know, they're assholes, you know. When Rockefeller, you know, Zelensky, yeah, you can't stand Zelensky. Zelensky's a murdering asshole. He gets off on it. You know, Putin, he's the same thing. You get two guys in a ring. They will beat the hell out of other people for amusement and for money and feel really powerful and amazing about it. And then there's a guy who could sit there and go, wow, I'm out of shape and everything. Yeah, but your endorphins are going to go off and I'm going to attack you and then I'm going to stop you. And then everybody's going to be like, wow, that was really fast. Yeah, it was. I won't ever want to do it again. I'm sick. I got to go lay down for 3 days, right? Shit, that was exhausting, right? But he can still do it. Yeah, when I need to. Yeah. And even though my health is compromised and I'm yeah. And the people at White Sands know it. That's why they're somewhat decent to me. Like, I can kill you real easy. It's not real easy. It's painful and it sucks and it's disgusting and I hate it. That's why I'm like King David and Lord Jesus and you're not. But yeah, it sucks. Oh, I hate it. Oh God, I despise it. You know. It's hard for me to wring a chicken's neck. But I know it needs to be done. So, you know, like John Boy and John Walton, you know, I just see it as a tom turkey on the table and meat on the table for, you know, Aaron and Elizabeth and all them, which means, you know, give the toddler some chocolate milk. And Daddy, it's so easy to fall in love. And Daddy, you know, I want to hear, do it, Daddy. Me too, Kate. Let's have turkey sandwiches, right? So, and that's just me, and I love children and I love kids. And I remember when they abused and bullied and tortured my Noah because he was a protector of people that were bullied and he was dyslexic and they made fun of him like Grandpa Shelby. And they backed him up. He got so stressed, we had to take him out of school and keep him at home and try to homeschool him, which is hard to do when someone's dyslexic and you don't have I didn't research it. I probably should have, and had ways to help him with dyslexia. But I wasn't sure. I thought he was just, taking his time like Natalie because the other kids were bullies and abusive. And so I took him and Emily out of school to avoid all the people that abused him, from the effects of Fort Huachuca. And it affects, when you have that in concentrated of a virtual presence, people fall in line and do whatever role they have to do to maintain the status quo, or they cease to exist, or they get so angry that they become so violent that they have to be dealt with by the control factor, which is the people spying on the house, telling everybody what to do with technology for money. And so it really sucks. And so when you look at the dynamic, it's hard to look at the dynamic when you're in it. You understand it, but it's hard to explain it in a lucid fashion when you're in it. Okay, once you're out of it and you can sit there and you can look at the dynamics and see how it's processed and understood by artificial intelligence and quantum computing, it's real easy to explain. And so you can explain everything that human beings are doing hideously wrong to be a threat to their planet and species and their own existence, and not do what's required to honor the gift of life that they have and the natural laws to sustain it through the perfection of the infinite gift. Okay, so the technology is, the only reason why the technology is, quote, getting smarter is because of people like myself and the eternal connection of people like myself, and then the constant presence of the technology to neutralize people like myself, so people that invent the technology can replace people like myself with themselves, which is, it's impossible. For them to replace me, they're going to have to become like me. And if they try to eradicate me and torture me to death and have me volunteer to die because I'm not good enough to be them, it's like, no, you weren't good enough to be me, so you had to try to replace me with you, which is not correct, because your biological and psychological condition will gravitate. You need a gracious good shepherd. You'll go right back to nasty Nate. Yeah. Because you don't have Squirrel Master. You need Squirrel Master to stop you from being Nasty Nate and fucking Kenny in the ass, okay? That police officer's a diabetic. Don't give it all that. Okay, do you understand? So, doing that to a poor horse. Horses have choice. Horses don't have choices. You do. That horse could be living in some place in maybe Pennsylvania, Kentucky, or whatever, in a place that's more rural, where it doesn't have diabetes because it's not dying from Lou Gehrig's disease in a metroplex, because they do have metroplexes that can cause Lou Gehrig's disease in Tennessee now. It's called Nashville, and other places like that. You live and die in a metroplex, and then you stay in a metroplex, and the only thing that could possibly help save you from that metroplex is just get completely off the grid and see if there's a way to flush the guy out, give him stem cell research, and restore the vitality of the body. Do you think that will happen with Chris Johnson? He was always one of my favorite running backs and stuff to use on Madden. Because you know me, I like dreads. Lively up yourself, you won't need no dread. And but yeah, do you think it's tangible and that they will? I don't know. I think they'll try to make it look like it's more of that they were his personal savior, and what an amazing job they did at saving him with the genetics things. But the biggest thing I think would be just get him off the grid and let his body, the tonic of nature, and bring his family with him, because that's very important to him. And kiddos, especially, his daughter's 7 or 8, or that's one of the better parts of life, is when they're that age, because they're more dependent on mommy and daddy than they are puberty kicking in and going and being a mommy for a daddy themselves, so, which is very important, and we as human beings should understand that, because we're all very similar. Everything's mommy and daddy till 12 or 13, and then boom, I'm going to be a mommy and daddy, and I've been 12 or 13 been training, mommy and daddy in training school, right? And so, it's common sense, right? And so it makes sense, but then that's what it was, mommy and daddy from 13 to older, when they do meet that person. You have to be shop around. No, money's not real, but you can't hurry love. Love is always present, but you can't go rush into sexual reproduction until you know that I dreamed of you, my love, and my best friend. Right, so you know what I'm saying? If I could, I'd give you the Lord's Prayer, then I wouldn't have to sing sad songs about dysfunction for money, right? So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm good at that. So what you take such a beautiful song and turn it into, hey, if we'd lived the Lord's Prayer, we probably wouldn't have needed that song to be what you perceive as beautiful. Because the world of compromise, no, you cannot compromise truth. So the song is fundamentally wrong. Okay. But it sold lots of records and platinum, platinum, platinum. And it's better be living the Lord's Prayer than to be platinum with a song that is linguistically wrong because you've compromised your values by not living the truth, right? If I could, you can't travel through time to go back to the start to begin and redo it all because it's wrong. You start right now. It's time to start doing right and stop doing wrong is right now. Okay, I am the way, the truth, and life. Not unto the faith of the eternal, faithful, perfect Father, except unto me. I am the light and I am the way. Okay, so, I'm tired. You guys are exhausting. It's exhausting. It's very exhausting. You know. Um, it's entirely tangible if we've been living the Lord's Prayer that, I don't know, the songs may have all worked out differently, but I always liked the Restless Bull, and Restless Bulls have always been restless, and so you could have the Restless Bull and two solo too, you, only you, yeah, that's always been kind of a steady, no matter what, rather than rock steady, dark and steady all night long, and so just whisper to your friend, that she had still been able to sing certain songs like that. I'm not sure exactly what that just means, dancing and having fun dancing. Yeah, we would have that, but she'd still be with us. You can't look at the dynamics of the genetics and the genetic sequencing and stuff the same, but don't look at that. Okay, look at what we did and realize the things we do wrong to take away things that we enjoy that are beautiful and start doing right so that stops happening, right? No more Patsy Cline, Hacksaw Hawkins, airplanes into mountains. No more Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and the Big Bopper, falling from the sky because the engine froze over, because we absolutely positively had to be there overnight to make more money for the next asshole. No more of that with Jim Croce. Flying around on concert to make money to be able to afford and maintain the restaurant in San Diego. Didn't make it back home, right? No more of that. If you really want me to, I'll go. It's not that I want to, but I'll go. If you found somebody who can love you more than me, if you really want me to, I'll go. I need you more than you know. Ask me to do anything but go. I can't hardly talk, afraid I'll cry. Just can't find myself to say goodbye. I don't understand, my love, please tell me what to do. I'm screwing up the lyrics, but who cares? It's a really fun song to sing anyway. If you really want me to, I'll go. And it's okay. We're living the Lord's Prayer. If someone wants you to go and you don't have to be around them because you realize that you were fundamentally put together wrong because it was over selfishness and competition and not over true and faithful love and loving children and, I'm certain, as the Jordan and the curtain, the Zamp and the lamp, that, there's a man out there. Those are not his biological children. But I guarantee you, he can love Natalie and Noah and Emily and Kate and Crumb better than the people that were in sex competition at bars that conceived those children. I guarantee it. I know it for a fact. Okay. And I know that if you meet a woman who's competing with her cousin and you have a baby with that child, that the dad has to raise the child and not the mom. So the child can raise the mom. I know because I've done it. And the Vatican and Quorum of the 12 and the Pentagon has all the evidence. And if they destroyed it, I'm pretty sure Rockefeller has it on a quantum computer somewhere where they can't. Pretty sure. Which means you guys are going to be able to see me jump over Chris at practice and see if they're, yeah, they would have had the stuff where I'm the first half of that thing and then where I ease up and show up. Yeah. So that kid that laughed at me in New Mexico State, all the other kids are like, oh man, there's videotape. It's put on a quantum computer. Yeah. Shit. You don't laugh at this guy. Right. Yeah. Shazam. Okay, guys. I love you, man. All right. Peace out. I'm not Black Adam. I'm Peach Earl. Adam, that's him. That was then. This is now. I'm Peach Earl. Okay, guys. I love you. All right. Peace out.